Someday. It's such a gentle word, isn't it? It doesn't threaten you. It doesn't demand anything. It whispers. Not now, but later. You'll do it when you're ready. You have time. And for a moment, you believe it. Because someday sounds safe. It promises comfort. It tells you that your dreams are not forgotten, just postponed. But someday is not safety. It's sedation. It keeps you asleep while time quietly walks past. Dreams don't die in explosions. They fade, one delayed decision at a time. They wither in waiting rooms built by fear and called preparation. Every time you say, someday, you tell life. Not yet. Not me. Not now. And one day, you look up. And realize that, someday, has stolen years you can't get back. You think you have time. That's the lie. You think there will always be more. More chances, more days, more tomorrows. You assume the door will stay open. The people will still be there. And the passion will wait patiently until you're ready. But time doesn't pause for hesitation. It doesn't honor fear. It doesn't negotiate with someday. Every moment you delay is traded for a moment you can't relive. Every hesitation has a cost. And that cost is life itself. You keep telling yourself you'll write that book. Start that business. Say those words. Heal that wound. Chase that dream. But not today. Because today is busy. Today is uncertain. Today feels unfinished. But the truth? Every day feels unfinished. Every path begins incomplete. And still, you must begin. Because waiting doesn't create readiness. It erases opportunity. If you listen closely, you can hear them. The ghosts of your unlived lives. They whisper in the quiet moments. In the spaces between your thoughts. In the sigh that escapes after another day spent doing everything except what you truly want. They are the versions of you that could have been. The artist, the traveler, the risk-taker. The lover who said, yes, instead of, maybe later. Each one waits for you to notice them. Each one asks the same question. When? And when you answer with, someday, they fade. Softly, like fog burned away by morning light. You don't lose your dreams in one grand moment. You lose them through small, polite postponements. Through the promise of later. Through the belief that life will wait for you to be brave. But life doesn't wait. It moves, relentlessly. And every dream you delay becomes a ghost that haunts your silence. You're not lazy. You're not unmotivated. You're scared. Someday is fear in disguise. It's fear that wants to look reasonable. Responsible. Mature. Because fear doesn't always say, don't do it. Sometimes it says, do it later. Later, when you're ready. Later, when it's safer. Later, when the timing feels right. But later never comes. Because the fear doesn't fade, it feeds. Every time you give it another, someday, it grows stronger. Fear will always find a reason to wait. But courage only needs one reason to begin. And that reason is simple. You are alive now. And now is the only place where anything ever happens. There will come a day when you'll look back. Not with anger. But with ache. You'll realize that the moments you thought were small were the ones that shaped everything. That every hesitation wasn't protection. It was theft. It stole time. It stole chances. It stole joy. Regret doesn't scream, it whispers. It lives in sentences that begin with, I wish I had. And end with silence. It doesn't haunt you with failure. It haunts you with absence. The absence of risk. The absence of presence. The absence of action. You'll realize that someday was never a promise. It was a slow goodbye. A quiet surrender disguised as patience. But it doesn't have to stay that way. Because the moment you decide that someday is today, regret loses its voice. You keep waiting to feel ready. But readiness isn't a feeling. It's a choice. It's the moment you stop negotiating with fear and start dancing with it. Readiness doesn't arrive before action. It's created by action. You don't wake up confident. You become confident by doing the thing scared. You don't wait for clarity. You earn it by taking steps through the fog. The truth is, you'll never be fully ready. And that's the point. Because readiness isn't certainty. It's willingness. It's the quiet, trembling courage to begin before you're prepared. Every someday begins to dissolve. The moment you realize you don't need more time. You just need to start using the time you already have. So here's the truth, stripped bare. There is no someday. There never was. There is only now. And every breath, every heartbeat, every second that passes is a silent invitation to begin. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to be present. Because courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's just a quiet whisper. Now. Start where you are. With what you have. Even if your hands shake. Even if your voice cracks. Even if you fail. Because failure means movement. And movement means life. Someday is heavy. But now is light. And the moment you choose it, everything begins to shift. The door opens. The fear quiets. The path appears. And you realize the future you've been waiting for was waiting for you all along.